Hello team, in this lesson we'll kick off our first project. We'll do everything from scratch and I will walk you through each step one by one. We'll start from understanding the definition of a project and its key quality attributes that distinguish project from operational activity. Then we'll learn what a project charter is. This is a document from which a project is started. We will create a project charter from scratch together. I will explain you who a project sponsor is and what responsibilities this role has. We will also learn such important concept as the total cost of ownership and why it is important. We are going to analyze risk and assumptions in project charter. Based on the description of our imaginary project, we'll brainstorm what potential risks and assumptions it is better to include into the project charter. And we will review key milestones and why including of key milestones into a project charter is considered as a good practice. Then we will learn what a knowledge base is, because we would need a place where to put our project charter and place where all project-related documents that will be created during next lessons will be stored. I am going to make an overview of different tools that you can use to create knowledge base on your project, and you will decide which one you like the most. For the sake of this course and examples today, I am going to use Confluence by Atlassian. I will explain advantages of Confluence in order you can understand why I selected it. We will create a knowledge base structure that we will populate during the course with different documents. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to create a space in Confluence free of charge and learn how to work with Confluence. I will explain you what macros are in Confluence and I will show you different examples of macros. And when we'll have a Confluence space, we will move project charter to that space. And I will explain few more sections of project charter on example. Namely, we will talk about budget section in project charter. I will explain you what a billing model is and make an overview of time and material billing model. As you can see, we have really a lot of things to learn today. Let's start our lesson. Before we proceed with the agenda of the lesson, let me highlight the goals that I want to achieve with you in this course. I want to give you enough theoretical and practical knowledge to manage your project from scratch till the end. Project management is really a huge topic to learn. There are different styles, approaches, certifications. Every manager has its own view on how to manage project, what is more important and what is less important. I have proven experience in managing software projects with 200 team members under my supervision. So I know how knowledge from books work on practice, and that's why instead of reviewing with you PMBOK or Scrum Guide or any other book, we'll create virtual project. We'll start from small team and gradually we will scale, and we'll learn all principles on practice. We're going to have imaginary team, scope, schedule, milestones, risks, issues and lots more. My goal is to put you into the situation that is close to real life as much as possible. While achieving this goal, we are going to use different tools. Jira, Azure DevOps, tools for brainstorming, visualization, ChatGPT and lots more. So now when you understand the goal, we can start. And the first thing that we need to start with is a definition of a project. Before going further, I need to make sure that we are all on the same page regarding the definition of the project. A project is a temporary endeavor with a specific goal, defined scope, and set timeline, undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. Projects are distinct from ongoing routine operations as they have a defined beginning and end. They are designed to achieve something that is not part of the regular day-to-day activities of an organization. To sum it up, we can say that each project should have the following quality attributes that distinguish a project from an operational activity. The first one, temporary nature. A project has a clear start and end date, indicating its temporary nature. It is not an ongoing continuous effort, but rather has a finite duration. Specific goal. Every project has a well-defined and specific goal or objective it aims to achieve. The goal serves as a driving force behind the project's activities and decisions. Defined scope. The project scope outlines what is included and what is not included in the project. It sets the boundaries for the work to be done, helping to manage expectations. Specific timeline. A project is conducted within a predetermined timeline. The timeline provides a framework for scheduling tasks and activities. Unique outcome. Projects are focused on creating a unique product, service, or result that hasn't been done before. They produce something that is distinct from routine operations. So now you know how to distinguish project from operational activity. As I said, I will share with you my experience and will teach you how I manage projects. And I will share with you my actions in the sequence that I usually do. We will go step by step from the very beginning. Each project is started with Project Charter. It is the first document that gives authority to project manager start spending money on the achieving of the agreed goals. A project charter is a formal document that officially authorizes the existence of a project and provides a high-level overview of its objectives, scope, stakeholders, and initial planning. It serves as a foundational document that outlines the purpose of the project, defines its boundaries, and sets the stage for its successful execution. The project charter acts as a reference point for all team members and stakeholders to understand the project's key details and goals. The project charter is typically created by the project initiator or sponsor, often in collaboration with the project manager and key stakeholders. The project initiator or sponsor is an individual or entity that recognizes the need for the project and has the authority to allocate resources and support its execution. They play a crucial role in defining the project's high-level objectives and securing the necessary buy-in. The project charter, when approved and signed, grants the project manager the authority to begin the project execution phase. It authorizes the project manager to allocate resources, make initial decisions, and initiate the project's activities. In many organizations, project charters are standard practice because they help set clear expectations, minimize misunderstanding, and provide a solid foundation for project success. By outlining the project's purpose, scope, objectives, and key stakeholders, the project charter serves as a vital document that guides the project from its inception to its successful completion. And today we are going to have a lot of demo. I'm going to show you how I work on the documents, and we'll kick off the project together from scratch. You can try to find some project charter templates over the internet, but there are some common and standard sections that are recommended to be present in the project charter. We are going to review these sections in the lesson. We are going to use ChatGPT for generating at least drafts of key documents for us in order to boost our productivity. Let's set the task for ChatGPT. Hey, create for me project charter for this project. Development of online store where we can sell all kind of goods. Company name is Wild Orange. Estimated start date is January 1st. Estimated project duration is 1 year. Generate project objectives, business needs, project context, summary of the scope of work, summary of what is out of scope, project deliverables, success criteria, quality requirements, milestones, high-level risks and assumptions. As you can see, I listed the key things that I want to include into the project charter. We already learned the key quality attributes of the project. As you may see, I took them into consideration when I gave task to ChatGPT to generate for us project charter. The concept of the project charter is to keep it short. It is not a project management plan that potentially can be big and consists from multiple pages. Project charter is simple one-pager, just a summary that is signed by key stakeholders to make sure that we are in agreement of why we are all here. And here it is. Draft of the project charter. we still need to improve it. Usually, I also add to the project charter project team and specify key stakeholders, high-level budget, project manager name, project sponsor name. By the way, who is project sponsor? The project sponsor is an individual or entity that provides the financial resources, support, and authority for the project. They have a high interest in the project's success and often hold a high-level position within the organization. While a project sponsor is often associated with an individual who provides high-level support and guidance for a project, it's also possible for a company to take on this role as an entity. In such cases, the company as a whole provides the necessary resources, funding, and strategic direction for the project's success. But no matter whether you would specify company name or specific person name, at the end of the day, there should be a responsible person from the company that represents company's interests. The role of a project sponsor, whether it's individual or a company, typically involves providing resources. Sponsors allocate the necessary resources, including budget, personnel, and materials to ensure the project's successful execution. Defining objectives. Sponsors set clear project goals, objectives, and success criteria, aligning them with the company's strategic priorities. Stakeholder engagement. Sponsors engage with key stakeholders, including customers, management, and other relevant parties, to ensure project alignment and support. Removing obstacles. Sponsors assist in removing barriers and obstacles that might impede the project progress or success. Decision making. Sponsors make critical decisions related to project scope, changes, and overall direction. Risk management. Sponsors oversee risk management strategies and decisions, providing guidance on how to address potential issues. Monitoring progress. Sponsors maintain awareness of the project's progress and ensure it remains on track to achieve its intended outcomes. Let's get back to review of the project charter that was generated. In case you feel like it is a lack of details because ChatGPT generated too general information for you, then you can use ChatGPT for brainstorming. For example, let me ask ChatGPT the following request. Generate more assumptions for project charter related to infrastructure-related questions. We are going to use cloud instances of Wild Orange. Our DevOps will be in charge of configuration, but additional costs should be considered for infrastructure support. Total cost of ownership wasn't calculated because Wild Orange agreed to use existing infrastructure and provide us with all required instances. We also need accesses, and please also suggest me what other assumptions it is better to make on this stage. ChatGPT generates more assumptions for us that we'll definitely put into our project charter. In case there are too many of assumptions, feel free to filter them. But anyway, it is better to have more in order to ask yourself questions whether it is applicable or not. ChatGPT gives us ideas, and only we are responsible to decide whether we want to capture some assumptions or not. And I wanted to draw your attention to one important thing. I want to talk about total cost of ownership and why it is important. There is one topic that is often remains underrated in IT projects. I mean calculation of total cost of ownership. Let's first understand what a total cost of ownership is, and then we'll try to understand what we are going to do with it. The total cost of ownership includes all expenses associated with the life cycle of an IT system, application, or project. It goes beyond the initial acquisition costs and includes both direct and indirect costs incurred throughout the project's lifespan. Total cost of ownership provides a comprehensive view of the financial impact of owning, operating, and maintaining an IT solution over time. It helps organizations make informed decisions by considering the long-term financial implications. Components of total cost of ownership include acquisition costs, Those are initial expenses for purchasing hardware, software licenses, development tools, and other necessary components. Deployment costs. Costs are related to setting up and configuring the IT solution, including installation, customization, and integration with existing systems. Operational costs. Ongoing expenses for running the IT solution, including hardware maintenance, software updates, data storage, and system administration. If you are going to implement web cloud-based solution, consider here cloud costs too. Support and maintenance costs. Costs associated with technical support, troubleshooting, bug fixes, and regular maintenance activities. And back again to the example with a cloud-based solution, you need somebody who will support it, correct? Training and documentation, expenses for training end users and IT staff on how to use and manage the IT solution effectively. Downtime and loss of productivity, costs incurred due to the system downtime, disruptions, and the resulting impact on employee productivity and business operations. Security and compliance, costs related to implementing security measures, ensuring compliance with regulations, and addressing potential breaches or vulnerabilities. Scalability and upgrades, expenses associated with expanding or upgrading the IT solution to accommodate growth, new features, or changing business needs. End-of-life costs, costs of decommissioning the solution at the end of its useful life, including data migration, disposal, and transitioning to a new system. Risk mitigation costs, expenses to manage and mitigate risks, such as cybersecurity threats, data breaches, and system failures. Total cost of ownership analysis allows organizations to make informed decisions about IT investments by comparing the ongoing costs with the benefits and value the solution provides. While some IT projects may have higher initial acquisition costs, they might result in lower operational expenses or increased efficiency over time. Conversely, a lower upfront cost may lead to higher ongoing expenses. The simple example from real life. Hosting service in-house inside your organization will cost you more at the beginning because you need to buy expensive service, but will cost you significantly less even with support in the long run, in case we would compare these costs with potential costs that you pay for a cloud. Of course, cloud provides a lot of other advantages, but lower operational costs from the start with cloud solution will become significantly more and bigger in the long run if we compare with in-house service. And during the course, I will teach you how to make such decisions, what are pros and cons, and what option to choose. Total cost of ownership is super important. In my experience, underestimation of total cost of ownership had significant impact on the technical solution, solution architecture, and timeline of project delivery, so be very careful with it. In our specific imaginary case, customer told us to not worry about it. So, we flagged this question, we received an answer. As a project manager, I will not be worrying about this too much, but I will capture this as an assumption in order we would be on the same page regarding our agreements. Let's just keep it crystal clear, starting from the very beginning. The total cost of ownership is not a part of the budget estimation based on today, and is responsibility of Wild Orange. And also, let's generate few more risks related with existing dependencies. The payment module and invoicing system is too sensitive topic. Our imaginary company Wild Orange has B2B clients and B2C clients, meaning that there are clients who are legal entities and who buy goods in bulk, and there are individual customers. And there is complex payment logic and a lot of confidential data. That's why company will develop wrapper API that our project team is going to use. Let's generate additional risks for that. Generate and suggest potential risks for dependency on the implementation of the payment module that may impact our roadmap and delivery timeline in case dependency won't be provided on time. It is super important to think about all dependencies that you have at the beginning of the project. My experience tells me that in case you have dependency, it will be delayed. I am not joking. It is like rule of the universe. That's why you need always to take this into consideration. How to plan work with dependencies and how to reserve time for them, we are going to talk in the separate lesson. But on the stage of the project charter creation, I would tell that each dependency is a potential risk. And you better treat it seriously from the beginning. Think about your specific case and about your project. What potential dependencies may you have on the project? And ask for advice from ChatGPT just to validate your assumptions and get some advice. I believe you understood the approach. Basically, you ask ChatGPT to generate some draft, some baseline, and after that you challenge ChatGPT and yourself to understand if some important details are missed and you need to add something, or everything on place and you are good to go. Another interesting thing is key milestones and total project duration. My students often ask me, in case we can't specify project duration already in the project charter, and in case we can specify milestones, does it mean that we already hold the planning and we know the project schedule? Including key milestones in the project charter is a good practice as it provides a high-level overview of the project's timeline and major achievements. However, it's important to note that specifying key milestones in the project charter doesn't necessarily mean that all planning is done. The project charter outlines the initial framework and direction of the project, including its objectives, scope, stakeholders, and high-level milestones. While the project charter gives stakeholders and team members an understanding of the project's overall scope and goals, the detailed planning and scheduling of activities occur during the project planning phase, which follows the project initiation phase, where the project charter is developed and approved. We're going to have separate lessons about project planning, and I will share with you the best and the most efficient techniques of project planning. Also, before this project, implementation of online store, theoretically, you may have had another project, really short one, for a few weeks or 1 month. The goal of that project was to hold a discovery, to define business needs, evaluate scope, and clarify all required information to kick off this project. During the short discovery project, you also gather requirements, define project goals, understand business needs, assess the technical feasibility, identify risks, calculate high-level budget, do estimation of the work items, think about potential team structure and team composition, create assumptions, identify dependencies, validate concept, and even do prototyping in some cases. This is also common practice when you have short discovery project at the beginning and then you start the implementation at a full scale. In this case, the accuracy of estimation of duration is higher, and you can specify the estimation in the project charter. And of course, team, do not follow blindly to what ChatGPT generated for you. Read attentively, remove something that is not related to your project, add something what was missed or forgotten. ChatGPT is a great helper, but you need to control it. That's why I always say that ChatGPT is like a calculator for your brain. You can do computation by yourself because you know how to calculate numbers on paper, but you use help of the calculator. And in case calculator shows the wrong result, you can easily detect it because you have experience and understanding of what at least approximate amount you should receive after computation. The same story is here. You need to know what a project charter is and what it usually includes in order to control ChatGPT. That's why we learn theory and practice in the same lesson.